I'm coming back to you. Back.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Brandy Murray. So excited to have you here. Make sure that you grab yourself something to drink, get really comfortable because we're gonna have a little talk tonight. I have my Prophecy Pinot Grigio. The star is my card. If you did not know, I am an Aquarius girl. And I loved all of the love I got on my woo-woo video the other day. I was like, if you're woo-woo, drop a comment below because I'm a little woo-woo too. And some of you guys commented and that just made me so excited. So I know that my woo-woo family will appreciate the Aquarius wine here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some. Oh my gosh, this is not what I want. There. I need better lighting. Your girl is like a lot less dolled up today because y'all, it is so humid here in the Midwest. It has been rainy all day and my hair is just heavy and I'm like, ugh, and I did not feel like doing makeup, and your girl had a freaking migraine today of all things. I hate getting migraines, those are the worst. However, I do have a remedy to migraines, amethyst. Also, the Aquarius, the February birthstone. Amethyst actually has energetic properties that help take away the pain of migraine. I wouldn't say it would work 100% on its own. You know, you gotta like rest too and all of that stuff. Like, and I'm not a doctor, so don't take anything like as medical advice. But just a simple Google search, I found that amethyst is good with headaches, and I also combined that today with citrine, which is also good for nausea. And if you've ever had a migraine like the one I had today, it was severe headache and nausea combined. It was the worst. So anyway, so now I'm drinking wine. Oh, I needed that today. Woo! And I need a fan. I don't know if you guys can hear that background noise, but I did just turn on a fan because whoo, your girl was hot up in here drinking the wine and dealing with feeling weird today. So your girl binge watched The Circle season 2. Oh my gosh. Love, love, love The Circle. I am just a huge fan. Like, it is so addicting. Like, I can't even tell you. So if you guys haven't seen The Circle season 1, I liked the cast a lot better, I think, than this season. But this season has been interesting, just to watch everyone like try to trick each other. I feel like this season has been a lot more backstabby and dramatic. So I don't want to give too much away, so like, you know, spoiler alert or whatever. But I will say that Chloe drives me crazy. Chloe is just a little too loud for me. She's just like, wah! Like at every little situation, she's just like, wah! And I'm just like, Chloe, stop screaming. Like, we don't need to hear you scream at every little thing that happens. I do have my favorites who I'm hoping will win, but I don't want to say who they are just in case you haven't seen it yet. I want you to make up your mind for yourself. Check it out. Netflix did not pay me to endorse that or anything. I just wanted to tell you that I'm a huge fan of The Circle. This is a nice little segue into my anti-MLM video for today. One of the things that I do not miss about being in an MLM was the hustle culture and never having time to watch TV. The programming in my mind is telling me that makes me sound lazy, or that makes me sound like I'm not driven or motivated. No. I like TV. There's nothing wrong with watching TV as long as you don't like just sit around all day and watch TV. But like sometimes we need that time to like decompress. And also TV, stories, movies, they give us something to talk about. So I really enjoy watching TV. And now that I'm not in Beachbody, I can watch TV again. So today's video was inspired by one of your comments, which I'm going to read right here on this side of my screen is where my comment is, and I will go ahead and post the comment here for you somewhere so you can read it as well. So Ginger Katharina commented on my video of ex-Diamond Beachbody coach tells all anti-MLM. So if you haven't seen that video, definitely check the description box below. There's a link in there for it so you can go watch it. And I'm just gonna slide this in there. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for many more anti-MLM videos if you enjoy this kind of binge-worthy content. Ginger Katharina says, I really enjoyed your perspective. Thank you for being honest. Also, you are super easy to listen to. The pacing, the tone of voice, the structure, everything is pretty satisfying. Aw, thanks, Ginger. I am still amazed how you even managed to build a relationship with your then-to-be second husband while living such an exhausting life and barely having any time on your hands. Girl, I wonder the same thing. Before I get into my relationship with my husband, his name is Evan, before I get into that relationship, I'm actually gonna rewind and we're gonna talk about my first marriage. Oh yes, that's right, she's spilling the tea. I feel like being a part of an MLM played such a huge role in my first marriage, and I want to talk to you about that relationship. I haven't heard anyone come out and ask me this question, but it's something that I've wondered on my own, which is, did my relationship with my first husband fall apart because of my involvement with my MLM? The whole disintegration of our marriage began when I started Beachbody. However, I do not blame the MLM for the demise of our marriage. I actually 100% believe we would have been divorced anyway. I think that being involved with the MLM in a positive way sped up that process for me. So your girl's about to get vulnerable here. This is my journal from 2015, and I had written some notes in here, and it was actually a prayer that I had right before I started Beachbody. And I think this might have been why, I felt, part of the reason why I felt so attached and brainwashed and indoctrinated in Beachbody was because I kind of thought of Beachbody as my answered prayer. I know, and this was pre-Beachbody. I want you to understand that. So this will help illustrate the point. All right, I wrote this on December 23rd, 2015, which would have been almost 3 months after I had my second baby. I don't know why I let his mood get to me so much. He's toxic. I feel happy, blessed, full of life, and his negativity sucks the joy right out of my soul. He's so naive to his own shortcomings. He's also always pointing at mine. I'm trying to maintain my resolve, but I struggle with doubt and fear. I wonder if my life would be better without him, but it wouldn't be. It would be just as hard, just different. Sidebar, I just want to say that, oh my gosh, I was such a different person at that point when I wrote this. I believe he was a narcissist. He was not ever diagnosed as a narcissist, but it's very hard to get a narcissist to be diagnosed. This whole thing, I wonder if my life would be better without him, but it wouldn't be. It would be just as hard, just different. Those are his words, not mine. He used to tell me that all the time. There would be casualties, our children. I keep praying to God to work in his heart, to create the change I desperately need from him. I'm losing heart. I'm so tired of waiting. I need some hope, God. Please, I'm begging you, either release me from this or turn his heart to you. Holy smokes. I wrote that in December. I joined Beachbody in January. One thing you have to understand about my first marriage and my first relationship was I was emotionally and financially and religiously abused. My ex-husband used my faith against me, which is kind of why I have actually kind of gone off on a different path when it comes to religion. I consider myself a lot more spiritual now than I do religious. Do I still believe in God and Jesus? Absolutely. I also believe in the angels and the universe, and I believe in spirit, and I think it's a lot bigger than I used to think. I used to think of it as in that evangelical Christian box. But my ex-husband used my religion against me in a way where he would twist things to make me stay. Well, the Bible says man and woman become one. We shouldn't get divorced. He always used that as a way to keep me trapped, to make me feel guilty, like I had to stay married to him. He emotionally abused me because he would talk about my body. Man, I wish I could get my bestie on here to talk to you about this with me, because she would tell you, before I met my ex-husband, I had no problems with my body image. I felt like I looked great. I felt very confident, and I was curvy, but I felt healthy and just right for my body, the right proportions and everything. And ever since I started a relationship with my ex-husband, he planted seeds in my mind to doubt my beauty, to doubt my worth, to make me feel less than. I think a lot of that with narcissists, if you've ever done any sort of research of your own on narcissists, is they feel so insecure in who they are. So in order to feel better about themselves, they have to make other people feel less than. Yeah, there was so much going on. And then also the financial abuse component. So I was a stay-at-home mom. I did not work outside of the home. I know now that the work I did in the home has significant value, but at the time I was made to feel like I wasn't doing enough, like I wasn't contributing enough. And so I think I felt like if I could have some sort of opportunity where I could bring in a little extra money, that my ex-husband would be happier with me and that he would feel proud of me, and that, you know, I would be able to find some validation in that and not feel like I was mooching off of him. One thing I want you to understand is with MLMs, a woman like me was prime target because I was so desperate that having this opportunity it just brought me so much hope. And so I think that's why a lot of times you'd be like, why does this person, like, why are they so obsessed with this? Like, why are they so sold or so convinced that this thing is going to work? And I think a lot of times we're clinging on to this hope, you know, that things can be different. We were going to get divorced eventually anyway. Like, it was bound to happen. We had been fighting since day one. Like, it was not a good marriage. We fought every single day. He would tell me things like, all couples fight, which is a very generalized blanket statement. I would be like, okay, well, all couples fight, but not all couples fight like we fought, like every day, constantly, over, you know, things like spaghetti sauce. I mean, we just fought over stupid stuff, just nitpicking and wanting his way, his preference all the time over everything. What was interesting, and this is the side of Beachbody that, like, yes, I want to paint this picture of one of the things that I loved about it, because that's the way relationships are. They're not all black and white. They're not all evil and all awesome. I was getting this from Beachbody. I was getting value. I was getting validation. But most importantly, when I was in Beachbody, I was reading personal development books. I was doing the inner work of taking care of my spirit. I was learning that I did have value outside of my accomplishments, what other people thought about me. I learned that I can create my own reality. And that, my friends, was huge, because here I was so desperate in this book. I was so desperate to get out, but I felt like I had no way out. I felt like I made my bed. All that I had left to do was lie in it. And then through reading these personal development books and through doing the inner work on myself by setting goals and achieving them, really affirming my worth, saying those mantras and those affirmations each day, I began to become more confident and to grow. That gave me the courage to walk away from this abusive relationship. I know Beachbody did cause a lot of tension, fights between us, because rightfully so, he was concerned about our finances and where money was going, and his disbelief in me only fueled me to go harder. I just want to say, if you're watching this and you're a spouse of somebody who's involved with an MLM, the worst thing you can do is tell them it's not going to work. I was so convinced in my soul that this was the way, that no matter who said what, I was gonna go for it and I was gonna make it work. And especially when he told me he didn't believe in me, that just added fuel to my fire to really make it work and to really stay in longer. I think even though Beachbody did create some arguments and some conflict within our relationship because of the nature of what an MLM does and how it affects everyone around you, I did eventually get to a place where I wanted to quit, because I had been spinning my wheels for 2 years trying to make this work. And I noticed, hey, like, I'm not being as successful as I was promised that I would be if I just followed the steps. I was doing what my upline told me and I wasn't seeing the same amount of success. And eventually I kind of came to a point where I said, you know what? I realize this is taking up all of my time. Yeah, I like Beachbody. I like the workouts, but I don't want to be a coach anymore because I need to focus on my family. I dropped down to discount coach status, so I didn't 100% quit Beachbody. I stayed in it just for the workouts and whatnot, but I decided to pour my energy into taking care of my relationships. It was a month after that I told my husband I wanted a divorce. Beachbody was actually like a huge distraction for me that kind of kept our marriage going a little bit longer. But it was a needed distraction too, because like I said, it helped me to do the inner work that I needed to do to be ready to move on. We got divorced, and then I started working at a hospital that was the worst hospital to work at. I'm not gonna name drop, I'm not gonna say it. I'm just telling you guys, like, I hated working at this hospital. I worked there for a couple months. My boss was also a narcissist. Empaths, we attract narcissists. So my boss was also a narcissist and was very difficult to work for. I was miserable. Upline coach was in the back of my head because she was saying things like,
work from home, be your own boss, ditch the 9 to 5.
And at that time, I really wanted to ditch the 9 to 5. After 2 years of doing it and not making it work, then getting a divorce, after about, I would say 7 months from the time I quit, I signed back up as a coach. I was already signed up as a discount coach, so all I had to do was like try to sell again. I know this is a really long story, but y'all asked for the details. I'm giving you the details. I came back full throttle, ready to rock. This time I'm completely single, completely independent, and like, I got this. I'm gonna make this happen. And I think my confidence from ditching my baggage really did help me, and it also made me have a lot that I could share with people and help people in other ways besides just fitness, which I did on my page. I dove right back in. After a few months, I started dating, and I did the whole online dating thing. You guys, let me tell you, you really have to go through a lot of frogs before you find your prince online. I'm just saying, like, if you're out there online dating, cheers to you for making the effort. I can't even imagine what it's like in COVID. After a few frogs, I met my prince, Evan. Him and I have been married now for just a little over 6 months. We just celebrated our reception. If you haven't already checked out the video, be sure to go into the description box below. I'll put it below. We did a really fun wedding dance, so you can watch it. We fell in love so fast, I didn't think it was possible. Like, he was the one, and I knew it from the moment I saw him. First date, it was immediate. He smiled, most handsome smile in the world. I just felt the connection. I felt the sparks. And then he told me he forgot his wallet. And I still was like, all right, we're still gonna give this a chance because I've got a good feeling about you. But yeah, so we fell in love. The question was, I'm amazed how you even managed to build a relationship with your then-to-be second husband while living such an exhausting life and barely having any time on your hands. Girl, absolutely. We fell in love really fast. However, we were both wanting to take it slow. Obviously, I had just gotten out of a marriage. I wanted to take things at a slower pace. He had also gone through stuff, was wanting to move at a slower pace. So we started out with just like a couple dates a week. And then eventually it just kind of started ramping up like relationships normally do. I think he ended up meeting my kids in May, and we started dating in February. We just had so much in common. You know how they say, like, you just know? Like, you really do just know. It's weird, because when I was with my ex-husband, I thought that was, like, baloney. I was like, there's no way you just know. Like, you just have to make it work, because that's what I had been told when I was with him. With Evan, it was like, I really did just know. Like, it just felt right. Here's the difference between Evan and my ex-husband. Evan was supportive of Beachbody from the very beginning. He was like, if this is your passion, if you want to make it work, you go and you get it. He had so much faith in me. I don't know if he had faith in the company or the structure. I honestly think he probably didn't even know much about it, but anything I needed from him as far as support, he was willing to give me 110. I talked a little bit about, actually, I don't know if I talked to you guys about this. With the business model, they always encourage you to sign up your spouse or your boyfriend or significant other like right away, which by the way is illegal. At the time, like, he was like, sure, I'll sign up. Like, he had so much faith in me because he had seen the inner work that I had done on myself. He just trusted and believed in my vision and in my determination to make it work. When it came to an end, which was right before our wedding, because I quit in September, we got married in October. So glad I quit when I did, simply because like I didn't want to have to be worried about Beachbody when I was in the middle of my wedding. I mean, and that's how intoxicating MLMs are. Like, you get so wrapped up in it. I would have been taking pictures to post on my stories instead of like enjoying the moment with my husband. When it came to the point where I decided to quit and I talked to him about it, he asked me, he's like, "Are you sure? Is this what you really want?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm 100% sure. It's been so draining on my energy. I feel like I have no time." And I told him, I said, "You're gonna notice a huge difference when I finally decide to pull the plug on this and quit." And he said, "Well, you know, Brandy, I support you no matter what you want to do. I believe in you. If you want to become internet famous, I believe you can do it. If you want to help people by like doing tarot readings, I believe you can do it." He just was always my biggest cheerleader. So it made it feel really safe to come to him and tell him when I was ready. So that's something I want you to think about, is to not let the fear of what could happen if you don't stop your spouse from doing this thing, but to really be like, I believe my spouse is smart enough, or my friend or my parent or whoever, I believe they're smart enough to come to it in their own time. And when they are ready to come to it, if you've been encouraging to them, I think they're gonna be a lot more likely to come to you. And by the way, if you would be interested in hearing his side of the story, definitely drop that below. Just say, "We want to hear Evan's story too," because he has told me he would be willing to like do like an interview and talk to you guys a little bit about how my life with Beachbody, you know, how that affected him as my boyfriend and fiance. He has told me since I quit that he has noticed a huge difference in our connection and my availability. Like, basically, I was working 2 full-time jobs, right? And also being a mom and planning my wedding. Before I quit Beachbody, I wasn't available for like, you know, snuggly time, watching TV, watching movies, any of that. I always thought like movies were a waste of time because I just had too many other things that I had to take care of that made him feel a little like less important, possibly. When I stopped it, like he said, he's just noticed a huge difference in our connection and our relationship. In a long way to answer your question, it was hard, like, I guess, kind of, to develop that relationship, but at the same time it wasn't, because of our connection, like because we really are soulmates. It wasn't hard. When I quit Beachbody, it just made the relationship like that much better. We just love like being around each other, and at the same time we also give each other space. And because Evan met me while I was in the midst of Beachbody and I was in the midst of doing all of this personal development, and I was a hustler, and I was, you know, this fiery entrepreneur, I could say entrepreneur in quotes. I was afraid that if I quit Beachbody, that he wouldn't like me as much, you know, or that he wouldn't be as attracted to me, because that is the part of me that he kind of fell in love with. Through this whole process, with all of the sharing online and the personal work and decompressing with Evan and with other friends and family, like I've been able to still keep that part of me, because just because I was doing Beachbody, when I became this fiery individual, the truth of the matter is I was always that person. I just don't think I had ever had permission to be that person. It wasn't until I was involved in the MLM that I felt like I finally had permission to be myself. If you're in that place, I just want you to know, like, do not look for that outside validation to be who you want to be. You don't need an MLM. You don't need approval from anyone. You can be yourself and just be it. Does that make sense? Don't waste all of your life waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to be yourself. I had this fear of like, well, if I quit, he'd be less attracted to me because I'm not that person. But what's really cool is I've been able to take that person that I became because of my experiences in Beachbody and because of the lessons that I took from it. I was able to take that person and still be that person that he fell in love with. Wow, this video is like super long. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so, so very much. Watch out for those MLMs. I'm telling you, they're bad news. And if you're interested in hearing more of my story, any part of it, drop it in the comments below. I would love to make more videos just sharing my story with you, my life, whether you're interested in videos regarding spouses who have narcissism, or if you're interested in, you know, my personal life or whatever, or if you just want more anti-MLM, drop it in the comments below and I'd be happy to talk to you guys some more. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a fantastic night. Bye.